Breez with the MMABREEZ. I'm here with Bubba Jenkins, heading towards his PFL bout coming up this week. Bubba, you're back in action. How does it feel?
Man, it feels good, especially without a 17-day quarantine. That wasn't anything comfortable, and it feels really good to be here in Texas. Beautiful place. It's my mom's birthday tomorrow. It's my son's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Actually, on fight night, it's my mom's birthday. Today is my son's birthday, so I got some celebration to be doing, and I got some cakes to be blowing out. So we're gonna get the grind going and celebrate fun.
Right on, good for you. And you spoke on, speaking of cake, you have a new nutritionist, so
Yep.
you're not too pressed about cutting weight and all that hoopla.
Yeah.
I was speaking with your opponent, Kyle, and he said one of your weaknesses he sees is your cardio.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year he don't know what I was going through, so I had a lot of things that I had to just to show up to the cage was a really good thing. I had so much that I was focused on outside the cage that I, lost a lot of my third rounds. I lost a lot of my third rounds because of what I was leading up to. So this year we're a lot more focused. The one thing that my opponent did say though was I was mentally weak. And if you know anything about me, my cardio may be suspect because of all the shit that I went through, but I ain't no mental weakness. If I was mentally weak, I would have quit on Raid. If I was mentally weak, I would have lost to Bobby in the third. Like, if I was mentally weak, we wouldn't be here. So my man's got a couple things misconstrued, and, he keep coming forward. I'm going to diagnose him, give him some medicine, and put him to sleep early.
Hey, that's one thing. Another weakness he said about you. He said he thinks your chin is sus. He wants to come for your chin. What you got to say about that, Bubba?
My chin is sus. I ain't never been weak, wobbled, or you ain't never seen me go down. You ain't never seen none. Man, we gonna see. We gonna see if he can hit my chin like he thinks he want. My reach is much longer than his. I hit way harder than anybody he's ever fought, and I know some people that has taken him down like a million times during one fight. Like, he's given up 8 takedowns during one fight. I'm not sure I gave up 8 takedowns in 4 years of college. So the fact that this guy is talking about my chin and my mental weakness is going to be a rude awakening for him. He comes forward, so I do appreciate that he'll walk right into the things that I'll be delivering to him.
And you train with one of the most decorated striking coaches on the map, Dewey Cooper, a legend. And it's nothing new, but how prepared are you to engage in those striking matches with Kyle? And are you prepared to have a full-on battle on the feet, or do you still expect to mix it up and throw him off his game, throwing some takedowns and
well,
shuffle?
because he's so weak wrestling-wise, I guess he's a brown belt or whatnot, but because he's so weak wrestling-wise, it wouldn't behoove me to try to just stand and strike with a madman like that. I guess his name is the Madman or Crash or whatever the fuck it is, but I know that I got a better, well-rounded game, so if I don't use those things, that's just not smart fighting, and I'm an intelligent fighter, intelligent dude. So the fact that we have the mixed martial of the arts, I'm going to use and mix up my martial arts. I don't do MMA math like that, where he beat that guy beat this guy. I do the math. If this guy can take you down, then I for sure can take your ass down. But other than that, his past is his past, mine is mine, and Thursday is a new day.
Yeah, no doubt. We spoke a little bit about Chris Wade when you told my guy at Haymakers that he's the last guy that you'd want to date his sister. And there was some other talks going on. I talked to Brendan Lockney right before you, and he wasn't very fond of Chris. Is there a chance that Chris liked Brendan's girlfriend's picture, or what's going on there?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I'm not the biggest fan of anybody, really. Everybody can get it. I'm the can man, and he can get it, she can get it, they can get it, we can get it on. But the fact that he over here liking pictures of people that ain't in your yard, like, that's very disrespectful. And I talk a lot of shit, have a good time. I ain't never stepping on toes and be that disrespectful, my man. Like, you like a couple pictures around me, I might fuck up the bag and see you in the hallway. You talking about? Like,
there was an intense stare off between Brendan and Chris. It seemed Chris had no beef, but when Brendan passed him, he gave him a little bit of a mug.
Chris weak like that though. Like, you gotta understand, like, we real men in this. And Chris, whenever you see Chris go eye to eye, he on some duck off, see you, like, squint and hide shit. Like, he ain't no real see you in the streets. He won't ride an elevator with me, I can tell you that. Like, there's a difference between competing and then like being real men. Like, they forget that after the sport is over, like, I'm a real man. Like, I will beat your ass on some street shit before we ever talk about competition. But after the competition is over, don't get disrespectful because I'm here in Texas and we will see your ass outside. Like, there are different things between trying to win $1 million and then having respect for life.
Very well said. You know, Chris is obviously someone that you have a past with. Do you, with all this going on, is it a matchup that intrigues you in the future?
Oh, absolutely, dog. I know there's some guys who are like, oh, you know, the difference between the title and the $1 million is a 50-50. I want this, I want that. Listen, I want 20% of the $1 million, 20% of title, but 60% of me wants to run that shit back, regardless if I'm in the title, regardless if I win the belt. 60% of my 100%, what I'm looking forward to this year is trying to get that shit back. Because I believe he beat me at my best, and I was not even there mentally, physically. I showed up way out of shape, and just so many things that I did wrong leading up to that fight that I'm going to correct this year. And you know, I'm probably not even. I honestly, if we ever get that matchup, I'm probably going to go into every interview almost with my mouth taped because I want to say more. I want to show more than I actually said. Because last year I did a lot of talking, and this year I kind of want to prove that I'm light years ahead of that performance.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you certainly did a lot of proving with your fighting last year. You know,
For
you're
sure.
a very exciting fighter. You're a winner. You're game. We're excited to see you perform this season. Other than Chris Wade, are there any other guys you looking to fight? I know you and Logney had some great banter last season.
Yeah.
We never got to see you guys in the cage. When speaking with him today, I asked him, you know, who he's more fond of, you or Wade. He said, "Oh, Bubba's my boy." You know,
Yeah.
it says, "Oh, good." So it's like with that.
I would still punch Brandon in the face.
Yeah.
I was great conversation, awesome dude to talk to. I've seen him outside the cage. Seen him outside of being in the PFL a couple of different times. But I would still punch him in the face. I got $1 million. I got children to feed. That gold belt looks better than anybody out here. So yeah. But when it comes to just competing at the highest level with friends and things like that. I've had Palmer over to my house when we were in college. You know, me and Palmer went out, had a good night, and as you can see, I was still trying to knock his ass out too. You know, I don't really, when it comes to like feeding my family and then having friendships, I like a lot of people, but I love my squad.
Hey, well said. This is another guy, Lance Palmer. You guys had a great fight, and he spoke about his mental, maybe something you could relate to about how he was just kind of not all the way in it. The pandemic was getting to him, having a newborn at home, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that was the best Lance we saw last season, or do you expect him to come back with a little fire under his chest?
Palmer will be back. Being the champion that he is and having the longevity of being a tough fighter and a tough wrestler that he is and the mentality that he's had, he didn't win all those fights and get all those victories by not being mentally tough or looking himself in the mirror and trying to correct the things he did wrong. So I definitely think that we will see a bigger and better Palmer. I'm hoping we see the best Palmer ever this Thursday, cause you know what I'm saying. I got some leather in that skin game, so I want to see that one.
Yeah, and he said between when y'all faced off, one thing that he regrets is promoting the fight. It goes back to his mental state, and he feels like he didn't do a great job. You guys have a great history, like you said. You guys think highly of each other, but you've competed in many different shapes and forms and many different occasions. Is that something that you would be interested in running back with a little bit more hype behind it, a little more steam?
Absolutely. Palmer can't beat me in anything. So we can't. Not a sprint, not a jog, not a race, not swimming, not eating food. The one thing he can't do is power lift better than me. That motherfucker be in the weight room like a mud, so I don't even be in the weight room. So if it came down to a weight competition, my man got me hands down. But everything else, when it comes to competing, man, I sun cats.
Hell yeah, Bubba. Well, hey, man, tell everybody why they should tune in and watch you fight.
You should tune in because y'all gonna miss out on the first time I go 4-0 in the PFL. Y'all gonna miss the start to a great season. Y'all gonna miss the beginning of the Bad Man showing the world what it's gonna be like for the next couple of years. Not only that, it's contract year, so I'm trying to put out big numbers. If you're any kind of athlete and you know that it's your contract year, it's time to put them numbers up because you got things to do. Yeah, I'm talking about.
That's right. Everybody, Bubba Jenkins, thanks so much, brother. We're looking forward to your fight.
My man, appreciate the Breez.
Yes, sir.